Hi there. I wasn't actually, pretending there. I didn't see you coming in. No lie. I'm not bullshitting at all. Sorry. I don't know how to start videos, which you probably know if you've seen more than one of them. Anyway, in today's video, we're gonna take a pedal. I have it right here. This is what it looks like. And we're gonna make it into a custom pedal. This is a cheap, actually pretty useless, 30 or something bucks Amazon pedal. I don't know. I bought it because I was looking for projects that I thought could be interesting and fun to do something with on this channel, and I thought maybe I can just mess around in this pedal and make it my own custom signature boutique other fancy words that don't really mean anything pedal, so that when you're out there looking for something to make your playing special, you'll go, oh, I need that one, and you'll pay me like 900,000 billion gazillion trillion dollars for it, and then I can buy I don't know, Instagram or something. And I don't know, make it even worse than it already is somehow. I'll find a way. Anyway, just joking, just meaningless rambles. Anyway, in today's video, we're gonna take this pedal. We're gonna see what we can do to it. Before that, I want to play it for you just a little bit, just a tiny little sample, so have some sort of before and after thing. It's not gonna be super serious, this video. I'm not gonna teach you something that is like the best way to do anything or anything. We're just gonna poke around and see if we find something fun. I have done what I think you should do, and maybe this is the lesson of today's video. I've made a list of what I think is good and bad, or not bad, good or bad. What's bad about this pedal? So I have played the pedal, which you should do, and then if I can reach over, oh no, and I've written a very short list, and we might get even more as we go along, but I've made a list of things that I don't like about this pedal, and we're gonna change that. So let's go over that list super quickly, and then we'll dump into it a little bit more. So I find it boring. This pedal there's nothing interesting with it. It's very boring. You'll probably hear it now that I start playing with it. It's a boring pedal. There isn't that much to it. It has 3 controls, and none of the controls really do anything, so I just write not that much, it's like, some pedals, they're kind of boring, but if you max something out, at least you get some, crazy sounds or something wacky happens. But here it's like, there's nothing really happening here. Next part is ugly. Now, this is something that, is debatable, but I don't like the way this looks. I think that a pedal, the way the outside should sort of reflect what it is. I feel like this looks like it's maybe a distortion, maybe? This is a delay pedal. Maybe I should have said that. Maybe I should have gotten that out of the way immediately. But this is a delay pedal. And it's not only a delay pedal, they have a sticker. I don't know how much you can see that on the camera, but they have a sticker right here. And it's underneath the paint. And I think that's fine for like a silly little DIY project. We're all DIYers, we want to make our pedals look nice. We experiment with things like putting stickers on our pedals. But I don't really feel like if you're selling something and you're like company or something, that you should make pedals that are, cheaply made or feel cheap. So that's we're gonna rehouse this into another box so we can paint that and maybe draw some funny thing on top of it and get a cool design going. I want to get more into the whole make pedals great again. No, make pedals look like the thing you want to inspire them. If you've been around on the channels for a couple of years even, I have a Matthews Effects, I think the pedal is called, the Astronomer or something like that. And I really like that pedal, and one of the reasons why I like it is because the way it looks creates like an image of a dream scenario, and the way the pedal sounds matches that. So there's like a piece of work, art piece that works together with what it actually is. I think those two things should go together nicely. You shouldn't just draw, it's like the rat. It has a rat on it. It looks very industrial. It sounds like an industrial rat sort of thing. It works together. But if it was a chorus pedal, it would be kind of weird, you know? And maybe one day we'll put a chorus pedal inside of a rat enclosure. We're gonna jump into this and we're gonna do a little bit of everything. And here is my guitar. I'm playing this 1932 vintage guitar. Yes, it's definitely older than I'm just joking. Here's the guitar. Anyway, I was trying. I don't know what I'm playing. Anyway, here's some chords. And here is the pedal. It turns on, so that's good. It has a red LED, and why does it have a red LED? You know, a delay pedal shouldn't have a red LED. Let me know what you think about that. But anyway. Like this is like a very basic. It's fine. If I move the controls a little bit, like if I max it out, you know, all controls to max. I don't like that's nothing. I mean, obviously. It's not ugly. I'm not saying that it's unusable. I'm saying it could have had something fun to it. It could have had some flair. I mean, and if we back off some of the other thing, it has a. I mean, it has the time here, obviously, that you know of, and then it has the bypass control, so you can filter in how much you want. And then it has the decay, which I feel like. You have to, if you max it out, I feel like it's too much. I don't know. I'm gonna take this pedal apart so that we have only the circuit in place in front of us, and we'll take a look at it. So I'll be right back. Okay.
1 hour later.
Alright, so here is the pedal's backside. I think we're gonna work on the backside. So everything is flipped. Basically, here's front. Okay, so if you haven't seen other videos where I circuit bend, basically I play something. Usually I use a looper pedal. I don't feel like loopering today. Anyway, you're gonna get a little bit of guitar because I'm sitting in front of the microphone, which is right out of view for you. And I have my guitar in front of me, so it's gonna be a little bit annoying for you. But this is not a sound demo, so now you know what you're watching. And I have this wire with 2 nails on it and some heat shrink over. And I can poke things, so I can do little connections between them. Like there, for example. We have a weird sound. I'm not gonna go for like making this crazy. I still want this to be a delay pedal. I just kind of want to see what... I think those 2 points, it's kind of an interesting sound.
This is a little tedious, or at least it can become a little bit tedious. There's a lot of noise. I'm gonna poke around a little bit more, and I'll be back once I've found something that I like, or possibly don't find something that I like. We have some parts on the other side here, which we see the legs poke out on the other side here. It's the bigger soldering points. Alright, I'm back, and I tried a bunch of different places. I found some cool feedbacks and sort of distortion-y things, but I didn't really want to keep any of them, because I've done a couple of weird, wacky, circuit-bendy things, and that's not really what I was going for. So I started wondering, what if I take one of these pre-bought boards and I splice it in? So all I did was I connected to this power jack here, 2 cables, so that I had power to this board. It's just, you have to figure out which one is plus and which one is minus and put them to the plus and minus here. It's very easy. If it's a square jack like the one I have here, the closest one is the ground, is the plus, sorry, and the furthest away is the minus. If it doesn't lit up, you know you've done a mistake. There is a little LED there. I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. Anyway, then, one thing that this pedal has that is very nice for modding is that it has a port right next to the output there. So all I needed to do was take that port there that goes to the out here and put that to the in. So this pedal's out became this pedal's in, basically a jumper cable. And then connect this last upper row leg right here to the out here. And then I just took my knife and I just cut into this little circuit board right here. I'm gonna zoom in so you guys can see what I mean. Right there, you can see there's a little line here where I've cut it into it. And so now this port right here and this port right here, these 2 connections here, they're not connected any longer because I've spliced in with a knife and cut away. And if this didn't work, I can just solder a wire in between here, a little jumper, and it would, still work. So now if I play the pedal, it sounds exactly the same. But then if I move this, I start bringing this in. Now obviously there are other ways you could do this, but this keeps it still being one pedal. I need to neaten this up a little bit, move this wire away, but then I hope I can put it just behind like this. Obviously I'll have to make a little shield in between so that nothing touches, but if I can have it just like this, it will be very compact. I might add something more like some sort of distortion controller. I mean, not distortion, feedback or something. Because when you add feedback to this, it's actually pretty nice. So, yeah, I'm going to take a quick break because I've been sitting here for hours. And I need to go and be Santa Claus, pretending to be Gandalf, fighting some space lizard cyborgs, and throw my back out. But, I'm the greatest uncle in the world, so, I gotta do it. See you all in a bit. Alright guys, I'm back. I blew my back out being a jungle gym, so I'm in a lot of pain. But anyway, I took a break, came back, played a little bit, messed around a little bit, and then I just started to move things around a little bit. And here is the pedal now, and I just want to share with you what I did. So, I have here one of these boards that I added. I have videos on these boards. If you search on like delays and things on my channel, you can find, videos on this if you're interested, if you haven't seen those. Anyway, there is a pot that sits right there, I believe, like this. And all I did was I removed that pot, because that pot and the middle pot of this pedal are the same thing. They have the same function. Basically, what they do is they let you blend in the clean signal. So it's like a true bypass blend knob. A lot of pedals have that. That's nothing special. So what I did was, because they're both 50k pots, I just snipped this one out. I felt a little bit lazy, and I put a new pot in here that is a double pot. So sometimes you'll see a pot like this, and this is the one that I cut the legs off of. This is actually a mono pot. If you have 3 legs, it's 1 signal. If you have 6 legs, it's a stereo pot, and you can actually have the controller move 2 controls at the same time. So now I have a blend knob in the middle here, and it's not just for this one, it's for this board here right as well. So you can see here that I have 3 wires coming off here, and they are just connected there. So it's just like a jumper cable little thing. And it's just because I could mess with both controls. And maybe some of you think that is interesting and fun. But after messing around for a bit, I just felt like, you know, I either want bypass or I don't want bypass. I don't want to mess with, like, is it pre or mid or whatever bypassing. It wasn't that interesting, basically, to have 2 different bypasses. On some, like, double pedal things, that could be super interesting. But on this, it's not really that interesting. So anyway, I'm going to move this all to the side. And then I'm going to press this. And wait, first, here is the guitar. And then here is signal. So there you have it. And then we can move this pot in the middle. As you see, madness begins. And I did one more fun thing. If you listen closely, and I understand right now that the microphone is on my voice, so the background guitar maybe it doesn't sound that well, but you'll get to hear it later. But it has a certain warble to it. That sounds like woo, it goes up and down a little bit. And that's because, if you look closely on this board, I added a little resistor right there that you can see. I think it's like a 2K or something like that. And it starves the second board just a little bit. And I made this thing earlier at some point. I think it was a year ago or something. Damn, it's dusty. And it's just a little starver thing. And I've come to kind of enjoy starving delays. Everyone always talks about starving fuzz pedals, but starving a delay pedal can be kind of fun too. So, yeah, I'm gonna keep working on this a little bit more. See if I find something else that I find funny. While I take a break from the pedal and just think over what I want to do with it, because I want it to be sort of usable, whatever definition of usable we have, which I don't even know at the moment, but I want to tinker around off camera, just, noodle and mess around. Anyway, while I take a break from it right now, I'm gonna see what happens if I take my knife and stick it in here, because I can feel that this whole erased area here is just a sticker of some sort. They've just put something under here. It reminds me of the paper dolly things that were under cakes when I was a kid. Grandma would... I actually feel like maybe it's one of those things. I don't know. I actually think it is. But yeah, I actually think I was right. I could sort of I just had this memory in my head of, like, being a kid, grandparents buying a cake. I think that's what this is, It's like that thing that they come on, when you buy a cake. Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't planning on reusing this box because I don't really like the screw holes here. I feel like maybe for a fuzz pedal we could use this box and have the screws in the corners and all of that. But this, I don't even know. It's just gross and messy. I'm gonna have to bring out the vacuum cleaner for this because it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know why I'm filming this. It's just, you see, it's just paper. And it's like, that will obviously not work. You can't just spray paint over paper, you know, without a thought in the world of what that will do. And that's why this box, it probably looked fine for the first 10 hours of its life or something like that, you know. But then it was shipped and, you know, it's like paper sucks up moisture and things like that. You can't just, no. Strange thing to do, the pedal, I feel like. Anyway, I just wanted to poke on it for a bit. Don't ask me why I filmed it. There it is. I'm gonna look for another box similar to this and see if I can find something that looks a little more like it would fit a delay pedal. Color and theme and all of that. Same thing with like these knobs we have right here. I'm not saying that these are bad or that you shouldn't use them, but I just feel like it's like a weird copper color. It doesn't work for my delay pedal. Alright, so I had one idea that it just popped into my head, and that is maybe I can see if I can find a circuit bend point between the two boards. It's not something that I've ever really tried before, so I was thinking maybe I'd try it this time and we'll see what happens. Just poking around a little bit and see if we find something cool. If we find something cool, we find something cool. If we don't, then we don't. I have one more thing that I want to try after this, but one thing at a time. Let's try this. So here we have the guitar. Anyway, here is the effect. It works. And now let's just see what happens if we... Alright, so here is the pedal now, and I mean, obviously, some of you are going to say, well, you didn't really actually do anything here. You just sort of messed around inside a circuit and realized that having two PT 2399s is better than having one. And yes, you're basically right. I didn't really find anything. I found a lot of like feedbacky little thingamajigs that I didn't want. I've experimented with, you know, feedbacking these sorts of things before, and I didn't want it for this one. It has a little bit of wibbly wobbly things to it. I added a little resistor right there because I like when you have the feedback controller on this board and you push it just a little bit. It sort of muddies up the signal a little bit and makes it a little bit dreamy, which is something that I like a little bit every now and then. So I thought if I just put a little resistor there, then maybe we can just make this pedal have a little bit of a dream sense to it. But yeah, this is, you know, I'm not doing anything particularly special or anything. You could put one of these board into any pedal that you have, and I suppose maybe that's something that I'm trying to, I don't know, maybe that's what I'm trying to teach you, or something. If I'm trying to teach you anything, I don't know. They are a little bit fiddly because they touch each other and things like that, but... Yeah, there, the board touched the other board. So, you know, like this is, it's all very fiddly to work on. But yeah. All right, I'm back. You don't know this, but it's been a couple of hours actually. And I decided that I was going to switch out the box. You know, I'm making a custom pedal out of this Amazon pedal, and I'm trying to make it all nice, and you know, and I'm trying to think of all aspects of like how it will sound, but also how it will look. So I decided this box will be perfect, because I think it will be. I think this is a much nicer box, color-wise and everything. I haven't drilled this hole yet. This box is a tiny, just a tiny bit too small. So I thought, I can maybe just wiggle it in there. Maybe I can just push it, and I broke the jacks. So I had to remove them. Here they are. Both of them. What I had to do was I had to cut into the board. You're gonna think I'm crazy here. I had to cut into the board to get them out, and then I had to replace them with wires. So I found the two places where the wires go. I found where the ground signal, because it's splitting the ground into the lead, and that's how it saves battery. So I had to cut that off. I didn't have to cut it off, but it came off with trying to remove the broken jacks, and I did the same on both sides. But then I just found the trace where it went. I just took a little knife and I just scratched that trace until I could see some copper. Then I just took and put some solder there, and I could solder in a wire for the new ground. I only need one ground because the other one is going to be through the box. And then, because I had done all of this, I switched out the jack for one of these jacks so we can drill a hole. Now I can tell that this has popped, but I had to add a wire there, down here, to the leg right there, because it wouldn't work otherwise, because this splits the signal for power as well. Some pedals, if you've seen me make my LM386 or whatever it's called pedal, for example, is always on. You only kill the signal going through, you don't actually turn it off. Well, this pedal you actually turn off. So this switch is an on-off switch for the signal, but it's also an on-off signal for power, basically. And the LED is a part of the circuit. So I'm gonna reheat my soldering iron and attach this. I also, which I haven't done yet, but I'm gonna replace this LED, because I'm thinking, you know, delay, ambient sounds, you know, black and bronze, you know, these bronze knobs, and the black box, here it is, or what's left of it, you know, doesn't go together. So I'm thinking cream, and I'm thinking maybe blue or something for the knobs. I haven't decided on knobs yet. I don't even know if I have any knobs. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. But I'm gonna replace the LED. I did an experiment that didn't pan out exactly as I wanted it to. I had a broken green LED, and I thought maybe I can splice that in on top of this. You know, I just cut both of them down to size and glued it on, in hopes that it would be some sort of like greenish blue, because that would be cool. Like, you know, not straight up blue, but blue that was a little bit had a green tint to it. So I doubt you'll be able to tell, because LEDs always look different on screen. To me, this looks very, very blue in real life, but on the screen of my camera, I can tell that it looks very purple. But it's a very bluish blue, which I was hoping it wouldn't be. But I'm gonna install a bigger LED, just because I feel like inexpensive pedals. This obviously doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't think for a second that it matters. It's just an aesthetic thing. But I want this to feel more premium. Like we're making a custom pedal here. We're having fun just being silly. I mean, if anything, this video is me just saying, hey, boutique pedals are just nice looking boxes or something, you know? I mean, if that's your takeaway, I hope you're at least doing it with a smile or laughing or something, because it's supposed to be fun, not something negative. But I'm going to switch out the LED. I'm probably going to use this one, because I don't think I have any cooler or nicer LEDs, but I'm gonna take a quick look and see if I can find something. I know I have purple LEDs, but they are more neon, synth maybe, you would use that for purple. I also have white, orange, red, green and blue, obviously. So yeah, I'll be right back. I'm gonna resolder this wire here, which is just because you have to have an indicator for the pedal being on. It's just, this is simple. If you're wondering how I know how to do this, I don't know how to do this. I mean, I do know how to do this because I'm doing it. But what I'm doing is I'm just following the traces that are on the pedal. And sometimes the traces are in the pedal already. And if they are, I mean, like, you're not on the surface, but they're sandwiched in between. Then you have to take out your multimeter and use continuity mode to try to figure out like what goes where. And it can be really fiddly and it can be hard to do. But with a little bit of patience, I promise you, you will sort this out. So anyway, I'll be back real soon, and hopefully we'll be able to put this into a box. I'm also gonna try to see if I can find a cool picture, or maybe make a picture in like Photoshop or something like that, and put it on with some Mod Podge or something like that. We'll see, but I'll be right back. Okay, so I haven't done that much of like pedal enclosures and the way they're supposed to look, or anything like that, and it's because when you run a YouTube channel and you have so many balls, or whatever you want to call it, balls. You have so many things up in the air all the time. Certain things get prioritized more than others, and one of the things that don't ever get prioritized, which is something I'm not happy about at all, is the way pedals look. I put them in a box, I show you them, and I play them a little bit for you, and that's it. But I do actually really appreciate a nice looking pedal. I've said this 100 times before. I really like it when the pedal has an identity and the outside sort of mirrors it. And I'm kind of the point that I want to drag home. So I'm going to show you, because maybe there is one or two of you who don't know about Mod Podge and how you can like transfer a picture over with the help of Mod Podge. So here's the box. Here's my Mod Podge. Looks like this. Photo transfer. There are two different ones, depending on if you have an ink printer or a laser printer. I have the laser printer. Mod Podge here, photo transfer Podge. And it's just because I have a laser printer. Alright? Next thing you need is an air dryer. Don't use a heat gun. It's going to be over the top. And then you need a brush. I like to use one that is soft. I've tried with something that is a little harsher, and I don't feel like I get particularly good results. So shake this a little bit, and then we pour a little bit out. We don't need super much, but we want to put down a nice even coat. Not super much though, so be careful. We'll see if this is enough. And then we just brush it across. Don't care too much about like if you fill up the holes. We are going to clean everything up soon. So just something like this. Just smear it about like that. Move the excess a little bit. Doopy-doopy-doo. I have a stain right here as well. Probably... I dropped the pencil. Never mind. Then we take our art and we I've drawn this in Photoshop, and I'm trying to just align it so that the holes line up like that. Then I use my thumbs and I just kind of go like this. And if you can't get it perfect, the places where it's like wrinkly or you have air bubbles is where you're gonna have issues, whether you will get breakage in your art, basically. So I cut it out a little bit oversized. I usually do something like this. And then on your Mod Podge it will say how long you need to heat it up. And mine is actually 10 minutes. Doesn't mean it will be that for you, but that's what it is for me. So now I'm just going to go over this and try to hit everywhere for 10 minutes. So see you in 10 minutes and we'll peel this off. Alright, so I'm back. I heated it for 10 minutes and then I left it to cool off. Mostly so that it would dry properly, but also so it wouldn't be too much of a hassle to handle. It is metal. You can burn yourself if it gets too hot. I've never had that happen, but I'm supposed to say that because I'm a responsible adult, I think is the word. I don't know. Now I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to try to cut these out. You don't necessarily have to do this. You don't have to cut them out, but it leaves a cleaner look. And for around the holes, I mean, we're going to have washers and things on, so it's not super important that it is like super clean, but I kind of want it a little bit clean around there, especially in the light here, because we're not gonna have, what are they called? We're not gonna have one of those bushings, just because I don't have any, or I don't have any that aren't black. But I can sort of see them through the paper. I don't know if you can see them. There are other ways you can do this. There is like a transparent film that you can use instead of Mod Podge, and I do use that sometimes as well. But I'm not going to use it on this because I feel like this isn't as serious of a project, and also the look I'm going for, I think, will work better on this because I'm looking for a sort of torn sort of imagery. You'll see it as it gets revealed, but I've named it and I've written it with a font that is sort of destroyed and distorted. And it's just an art's, preference style for this pedal, trying to make it match the sound. So here I have some lukewarm tap water, and I'm going to put some on my finger and rub it around gently first to just let it get into the paper. This is why we have a little bit of overhang paper, because I have something to like grab. And now you can start to see the picture that I threw together in Photoshop real quickly. 10 life points, no, 100,000 life points. 10, not worth doing. If you can figure out which two anime characters I modged together, they're not from the same show. I just stole them, cut them out, and added them to a background, did a quick little shadow thing underneath them, and added some text. Super easy, just see if you guys can tell. I'm rubbing very gently and just letting like the weight of my finger move across. And yeah, you can see there I already messed up. Oh, I messed up again. Then maybe poke a little bit longer. Well, the control for that knob will never be known to anyone. You're gonna just have to play the pedal, and I'm just moving it off camera and brushing off all the little fur or whatever you call it from the paper, just because sometimes it gets a little bit too much. Yeah, gently, gently, gently. And yeah, well, I'll be right back once I've gotten to a point where I'm close to being done, because there is one thing left for when you're at the edge of being done. Take a look at that. All right, so here is the pedal, and it got damaged a lot more than I was hoping for, but I'm kind of contemplating perhaps redoing it, but I kind of also like it the way it looks right now. And I kind of made the text down here, I don't even know if you can see it, very faint so that it wouldn't be that easy to see, and the text here as well is sort of blended in, and I don't know if it matters. I mean, like, it does matter obviously, because it's like if we're trying to make a custom pedal that is like an actual pedal, then you should be able to read the controls, but it's a very simple control. It's not very complicated EQ things where you need to know exactly what it is you're doing. You sort of just mess around on the knobs, and let's face it, I'm probably gonna only use this with all of them on max anyway. No, but I'm actually thinking maybe I'll keep. It looks kind of damaged and fragile. It kind of goes well with the effect. But if I wanted to, I could just take some warmer water than lukewarm water. I could just rub this off with my fingers. Eventually you will rub off. This is what has happened here. This is just me just being a little bit too aggressive. I should have been even more careful. The last thing you need to do is you have to inspect this and really feel it and go over it and really like rub it super gently, because sometimes it has like a weird, almost like foggy film over it. I feel like I've managed to get rid of that, and that's just the very last 1/100th of a millimeter of paper. So you have to go like this, just dip your finger and just rub over with a lot of water, and if you feel like you're picking up anything, then you're not done. Thought I had some left to do, but now I feel like maybe I did. I think I'm done. We can't just leave it like this. I mean, we can, obviously, we can do whatever we want, but if we do, it's gonna, get more damaged. And if you've done this and you've cared about making sure that, everything looks nice, then you don't want it to get damaged. So, you can spray paint, you can put resin on, there's a bunch of things. I'm gonna put this on. This is what I've had a decent result with. It's an acrylic UV varnish from Winston and Newton or something. It's a perfectly fine thing to use, and it goes on fairly easy. So I'm just gonna protect my picture here with a little bit of just a thin layer. Put it on evenly. Trying to make it look nice is what I'm trying to say, like that. And I'll give that 10 minutes or something maybe, and then I'll put on another layer and maybe give that another 10 minutes, and then I'll put on a third layer. I don't think I'll do more than that, but that seems reasonable to me. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so here is the pedal now, and if I move all the controls way down, we can put on knobs. I have these old knobs. I found a guy who was selling off a bunch of old knobs, and so I bought a bunch of old knobs. Basically, I'll put one there, try to align them so that they at least somewhat look like they're poking in the right direction. Something like that. Give them a good squeeze. There we go. I think that looks cute. One thing that I had to do, that I kind of forgot that I had to do, and I did it, and now that I am looking at it, I immediately notice that I didn't film it or show you or told you anything about it, but I made a border of flamed maple. Actually, so I had this tiny bit of flame maple lying around, and I thought, since I can't fit everything in here, I just needed like 1 mil extra. I thought, perfect timing to use that piece of wood. I think this gives it a nice, classy little thing, you know, seam there, just like a frame for a painting. If we plug in power, the LED has a little resistor on it, so it's double resisted, which means it glows very faint, but I kind of like it like that. I think that's a nice faint glow. I'm gonna look and see if I can find a LED like this one, but that is more this sky blue than this deep ocean blue or whatever. I think that's gonna be it for this video. Let's plug in a guitar and raise the volume on the amp and play it and just hear what it sounds like. All right? Okay, guys, so here is the guitar. And here's the pedal. I want to address the elephant in the room before we end this video. And obviously that is that I'm using a wooden pick. And I know some of you really don't like that. You have trauma from your childhood about wood. No, long, hard, stiff sticks. I understand. No, I'm not saying that this is the way to make a pedal. You know, your own custom pedal. This is sort of a fun thing that you can do. You know, if you think it's fun, if you think it's interesting to just poke around inside something that you already have. But I wouldn't say that this is necessarily how you would do this if you wanted to make your own pedal. That is truly your custom pedal. You should bring out your, I forgot the word, thing, and build the circuit there from scratch. And then start tweaking it, you know, come up with either your own circuit through messing around for years and years and years. It can take forever to come up with something new, I imagine. I've never come up with, at least not something completely. Or you should take something and just start tweaking the values until you find something cool and interesting that you feel is your own. And maybe one day we'll do that. Depends on if you guys want me to do that. It can be very, 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 very fun, but it can also be very tedious. Keep that in mind if you want to do that. It's one of those things that you should do in a calm, collected sense when you feel that you have the time to do it, so that you can really find what you're really looking for and what you really like. And yeah, I didn't do this in this video because this wasn't supposed to be that serious. I just know some of you are gonna start talking about that and telling me in the comments below whatever I'm doing wrong, because some of you like to do that. It's a hobby, I get it. I like playing guitar. Some other people don't, but that's all right. If you enjoy that, that's your thing. I don't judge. Kind of sound a little judgy right now. But anyway, I just wanted to say that I'm aware of this. I built pedals before. This isn't the first one. Obviously, a lot of this went into making it look cool. I mean, I think it sounds a lot better. I think that what I did to the sound is an improvement. I think it's a more fun, interesting pedal now. Yes, you could argue that all I did was add a reverb pedal to a delay pedal. If you don't have a delay pedal or a reverb pedal that you want to sacrifice, adding one of these boards is a fun thing to do. Obviously, there are a bunch of mods if you've seen my other videos. The Lovely Panda, for example, then you already know all of these things. But I hope this was fun and inspired at least one of you to go and do something creative. We're gonna do more fun, interesting and creative things. I'm already thinking that maybe, since this box clearly was not suited for a delay pedal, that maybe it can be suitable for some other effect. Something rustic that see the screws and be a little thrown about. So that's it. We might do this again. Also, I didn't go that much into making the picture because it's mostly on the computer, but I do have OBS or whatever it's called, so I can film my computer screen. If you guys want to, I could make a how in the computer part if you guys are interested. I'm using a bunch of free things. I know I say in the video Photoshop, but that's because you know what I mean when I say Photoshop. Anyway, it's all free and it's all, you can all use it. And so if you guys want to, I could totally make a video showing you how to make a pedal enclosure picture. That's something you guys would find interesting and fun. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough. This outro wasn't supposed to be 5 minutes long, but it is. And you know what? That's all right. I'm gonna go play this pedal a little bit more, and this guitar. It's, you know, it's one of my favorite guitars, so it's always nice to play.
Yeah, boy.
I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share this video. If the possibility to hype the video exists, do that as well. I don't know how to fix that. And until next time, don't forget to stay awesome and cool, and go and buy some weird, super inexpensive pedal from somewhere. It doesn't have to be Amazon. I'm not affiliated with them at all. And just repaint it, see what happens if you change some parts around inside of it. Have a little bit of fun and be creative, and in the end, you know, if you destroy it, that's, you know, you learn something from that too, so don't be afraid of that. But if you find something weird and wonky and it sounds cool, then you have your own custom pedal, just like me. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Bye bye for now.